Will Spencer may be standing at the edge of a decision that could either save his future with Electra Forrester or destroy it completely. Because in this, The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers story, the real pressure is not just romance, it is fear, it is competition, it is jealousy, and it is Will trying to prove something before Electra slips too far away. Right now, Will wants his reunion with Electra to feel solid again. He wants to believe they can move past the drama they have already faced. He wants a fresh chapter. But that fresh chapter is not happening in a quiet, easy way. RJ Forrester is still close to Electra. He keeps cozying up to her. And that matters because Will can see that Electra has support outside of him. She has someone around her who may make her feel seen, understood, and emotionally safe. For Will, that creates pressure. He may not say it out loud, but the situation is clear. If RJ keeps getting closer to Electra, Will may feel like time is running out. He may feel like he has to do something big before Electra's attention shifts for good. And this is where the conflict becomes more complicated. Because Will is not only focused on Electra, he is also still struggling with Melissa Dillon. Dillon still seems to have a place in Will's heart. That does not mean Will has given up on Electra. It does not mean he is ready to walk away, but it does mean his feelings are not as simple as he wants them to be. That is the dangerous part. Will may be trying to bury those lingering emotions for Dillon. He may be trying to convince himself that Electra is the future and Dillon is something he needs to forget. But emotions do not always disappear just because a person wants them to, and on B&B, ignored feelings often create the biggest problems. Will may think the answer is to focus harder on Electra, push harder, prove more, make a statement so dramatic that no one can question where his heart is supposed to be. But when someone makes a romantic decision from fear, the result can be messy. That is why the idea of a proposal feels so explosive. Will may see Electra and RJ sharing another close moment. Maybe it is nothing more than comfort. Maybe it is emotional support. Maybe it is simply RJ being present when Electra needs someone. But from Will's point of view, it could look like a warning. It could make him feel like Electra is drifting. It could make him feel like RJ is becoming too important. And it could push Will into thinking that a normal apology, a normal promise, or a normal romantic gesture will not be enough. He may decide he needs something bigger, an engagement ring, a future, a public emotional promise that tells Electra he is serious. That kind of move would be very B&B. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers often build romance around grand gestures, and marriage proposals are one of the biggest emotional weapons on this show. A proposal can be beautiful, but it can also be pressure. It can be a test. It can expose every doubt that was hiding under the surface. For Will, the proposal may feel like the perfect way to lock in his reunion with Electra. He might use that Spencer confidence. He might put that Spencer money behind the gesture. He might choose a diamond meant to impress her, overwhelm her, and show her that he is not playing around. And if he goes all out, it could be exactly the kind of romantic night Electra would never forget. But that is the key problem. Unforgettable does not always mean successful. A huge romantic setup can create a powerful moment, but it cannot erase every wound. It cannot make every fear disappear. It cannot force someone to be ready for marriage. That is where Electra's side of the story becomes important. Electra and Will have already gone through challenges. Their reunion is not built on perfect peace. There has been drama, there has been emotional weight, and even if Will wants a new beginning, Electra may still need time to understand what she truly feels. A proposal could make her face everything at once. Does she trust Will enough? Can she move past all the drama? Is she ready to make that kind of commitment? Or would saying yes only create a bigger problem later? That is why Will's possible engagement plan is so risky. He may believe he is proving love, but Electra could feel trapped by the size of the moment. She could suddenly realize that the pressure is too much. And if that happens, Will's dream proposal could turn into heartbreak. The most painful part of this possible proposal is that Will may think he is solving one problem while actually creating another. He wants to keep Electra close. He wants to beat the fear of losing her to RJ. He wants to silence whatever is still pulling him toward Dylan. But a ring cannot solve a divided heart. And it cannot erase Electra's doubts if those doubts are still alive. If Will gets down on one knee, the whole moment would carry heavy emotional pressure. Electra would not just be answering a romantic question, she would be deciding whether she believes in a future with Will after everything they have already been through. That is a lot to ask, and if she hesitates, that hesitation alone could say everything. Electra might care about Will, she might want things to work, she might even be touched by the gesture. But caring about someone is not always the same as being ready to marry them. That is the heartbreaking space this story could move into. Electra may realize she cannot accept a commitment that big, not now, maybe not ever. And if she admits that, it would hit Will hard. Because for Will, this would not just be a rejected proposal, it would feel like a rejection of the future he was trying to build. He might start questioning everything. Was Electra ever truly ready to reunite? Did RJ's closeness change things? Did Will move too fast because he was afraid? And maybe the most uncomfortable question of all, was part of him trying to use a proposal to prove something to himself? That is where Dylan becomes even more important. The story hints that if Electra shuts Will down, he could end up crawling back to Dylan for comfort. That does not have to mean a full reunion. It does not have to mean Will suddenly has everything figured out. But it would show that Dylan still matters to him emotionally, and that could create even more confusion. Dylan has already been someone Will cannot fully push out of his mind. If Electra breaks his heart, Dylan could become the person he turns to when he feels rejected, embarrassed, and lost. That kind of comfort can be dangerous, because comfort can feel like love when someone is hurting. Will might convince himself that Dylan understands him. Dylan might represent the part of his heart he tried to ignore, and if he runs back to her after Electra's rejection, it would raise a serious question about whether Will was ever fully ready to commit to Electra in the first place. Meanwhile, RJ could become Electra's emotional support. That also fits the pressure that has been building. RJ has already been close to Electra, and if Will's proposal backfires, Electra may need someone steady around her. RJ could offer that support while Will is dealing with the shock, and that would only make the romantic tension messier. Because Will's biggest fear may be losing Electra to RJ, but if Will pushes too hard and Electra pulls away, he could accidentally create the exact situation he was trying to avoid. That is what makes this B&B spoilers storyline so interesting. The proposal itself may sound romantic, but underneath it is a much deeper conflict. Will is not just asking Electra to marry him, he may be asking her to erase doubt. He may be asking her to choose him over RJ's steady attention. He may be asking her to believe that his lingering feelings for Dylan are not a threat. And Electra may not be able to do that. A proposal works best when two people are already standing on solid ground. But Will and Electra may still be standing on emotional cracks. If he tries to build a future on top of those cracks too quickly, everything could break open. That does not mean Will is wrong to want Electra. It does not mean Electra is wrong if she needs more time. It simply means the timing could be dangerous. Will may see the ring as proof of commitment. Electra may see it as too much pressure. Will may see RJ as competition. Electra may see RJ as support. Will may see Dylan as something he is trying to move past. but Dylan may still be the person he turns to when his confidence falls apart. That is a classic The Bold and the Beautiful emotional triangle setup, with pride, insecurity, and unresolved feelings all colliding at once. And the biggest question is whether Will understands the risk before he makes the move. Because if he proposes and Electra says yes, it could give them the new chapter he wants. But if she says no, the fallout could be brutal. Will could be left heartbroken. Electra could lean closer to RJ. Dylan could come back into Will's emotional orbit. And the reunion Will wanted to protect could end up more fragile than ever. For now, the spoilers only hint at the possibility. Nothing is guaranteed. But the direction feels clear. Will and Electra may have more curveballs ahead, and a grand romantic gesture could become the next big test. So, what do you think? Should Electra give Will another chance if he proposes? Or would accepting a ring only make everything worse? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for daily The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, recaps, and updates.